There it is.
He yelled, "Do it," and he did it. B.J. Moore makes the show. 10 is a win for Snodgrass. Title number 6 on the PWBA Tour.
Off his hand, it looks good. It looks good. He's done it. He's done it.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the 2026 PBA Pilgrims Ohio Classic. Mike Flanagan with PBA Hall of Famer and USBC Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, along with Jimmy Callahan, our tech analyst. Final 6 games here tonight, guys. Yeah. We know we've had high scoring all week, but when it comes down to it in this elimination format, 16 players, Randy, can all of them make the show?
Yeah, I mean, if you go all the way down to 16th and Richie Teese, he's only 98 out of the telecast. The top 2 players, in my opinion, though, they've pretty much solidified their place, and that's Ryan Barnes and Packy Hanrahan. But I think the rest of the field still has a shot of getting there.
And tonight, a little bit interesting. We've only got 1 player on each lane, half the amount of traffic tonight. How will that impact tonight's 6 games?
We also have only 6. We have 6 lefties out of the 16 players. So as guys move, they might be on a pair that there's only 1 game after the first game. We'll see how the cross goes. Like I said earlier, I think the most important thing is looking at the cross sheet and who you follow, because the strikes are out there. 2 guys I would keep an eye on real quick are Graham Fa and Hayden Stippich.
Let me just add one last thing. I don't think they're going to get near as wet dry as we saw this morning, because there aren't as many players and only 2 on a pair now instead of 4.
Guys, we've had 32 300 games in this event. With that little amount of traffic, we might see 2 or 3 300 games.
Scores might be big tonight.
First game number 1. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I'm with you, Jimmy. Let's send it down to the other PBA Hall of Famer, the 4th member of our team, Tom Hess.
Yeah, guys, and we all know this is a total pins format, and if you remember just a couple of weeks ago, we thought that pretty much the top 3 were set, and we were going to have 3 guys battle for the last 2, and complete chaos broke out in that last game. Well, we've still got 6 games left on this ultra-high-scoring dragon pattern. Let's take it out to the lanes and see what kind of chaos breaks out tonight.
All right, guys, here we go. Game number 1 of 6. Getting underway here. We start out with Ryan Barnes, Packy Hanrahan, Francois Lavoie, Graham Fa. Again, this is not match play. Total pins fall this week. We saw it 2 weeks ago here on tour when we were in Fort Wayne, and we saw a very exciting night of competition. We also would like to welcome in not only our BowlTV viewers, but also those that are watching on the PBA YouTube channel for this 1-game preview. If you like what you see here, we invite you to join us on BowlTV over at BowlTV.com.
Hey, guys, a couple of weeks ago we had the same format as you mentioned. Didn't Ryan Barnes, wasn't he the leader going into the last game?
He was. He was.
He ended up 4th in that particular. It was the big scramble the last game, and he ended up 4th, but he was the leader. He loves this format.
And to our new audience, you see Francois Lavoie on lane 39. Something that he did yesterday, if you have not seen it on social media, or if you've just been hidden under a rock, or maybe you just got out of jail, who knows? He was 491 over for 6 games, which was 1691 block. He beat the record, which was 1635 all-time PBA record. He averaged 281.33 for his 6 games last night, and he also broke the 12-game record going 800 over, averaging 266.66 yesterday. 3,200 was his block total.
He broke the record by 10 pins a game. He didn't just break it, he destroyed it. He shattered it. So, and you know what's interesting? Frankie, today, he bowled 325 pins less today. And you know what? The only reason that happened is the fronts hooked a little bit more, the backs were a little tighter. He had this little trick he was doing last night, keeping it up 13-14. He slapped out every 10. He caught every shaker. You know what? He had to move away from that spot a little bit. It hooked early, and he had to go around a little bit more. He had a hard time knocking over the corners, and he lost all his carry.
Guys, your top 5 right now. Ryan Barnes, your leader, averaging 253 on the week for 30 games. Packy Hanrahan is second, averaging 252 for 30 games. Francois Lavoie averaging 246. Graham Fa averaging 244. We got 3 players averaging 243, led by Cameron Crowe, who's in 5th currently. So your show would be Barnes, Hanrahan, Lavoie, Fa, and Crowe right now, with Stippich just 13 pins behind. Kyle Sherman, 10 pins behind. followed by Vi, Russo, Robarst, E.J. Tackett, Zach Wilkins, Jeff Mann, Darren Tang, Chris Prather, and Richie Teese.
Little tidbit, 3 out of the top 5 are lefties right now, 4 out of the top 6, and 6 out of the top 10. They're making that slow ascent up the board. It's going to just be a matter if they have enough time to do it. We only have 6 games left. Here's a guy that I would keep an eye on tonight.
Grandpa?
He said his ball hooked really early, and he's changed a ton of surface on his balls. He bowled 268 the last game to get back up to fourth.
To salvage something.
Correct. And I asked him what he was going to do different. He said the fronts hooked way more and the backs were tighter. And he realizes what Packy and Stipic did, they were farther to the right and had that shape where he changed the surfaces up and down, and he's going to try to get into that spot and hopefully get comfortable and get a bunch of score. Kind of an auto racing jersey he's got working tonight.
Our points leader in E.J. Tackett, guys, he's down in 11th position. He's at 1,267 over. Right now, 1315 is the show. E.J. has bowled pretty well at the beginning of blocks, but kind of faltered down the stretch. Did you get a chance to talk to Brett Spangler about
I actually talked to E.J.
Okay.
He drilled in his 4th Venom Hysteria. He did it with a negative CG. What that means is that the pin is strong, CG's on the negative side, so he can keep it kind of in front of him, not get it to the friction at all. He put a little bit of surface on it. He's looking to play straight with that one, and he changed one other surface to help combat the wet dry. He said Brett kind of put his magic on one to take it away, and he's feeling very confident going into today.
Okay, so with everything you just said there, Jimmy, in layman's terms, you talked about a negative CG on the bowling ball, which is within these bowling balls, they have weight blocks inside of them, and there's a certain drill that's going to make the bowling ball do something different than what he saw later in the block.
Correct. If the CG straight up and down, that's the strong. Just for example, if it was the pin was right next to your fingers, CG was straight below that. That would give you your most overall shape, and that would magnify the dry. It would make the wet appear to be wetter and the dry to be drier. If you kick the CG farther out to the right, farther away from the center of your grip, it stands up and then it goes forward on the back end. So you don't want that either, because if it gets to the dry, it'll see it and then go forward. So what Brett and EJ came up with is to go the other way, put it to the left of the center of your grip, and what that'll do is it'll read it early, but it'll stay online, and you can put a little bit of surface on it, and I've used that exact trick myself several times in the past.
So a tune-up, so to speak, on the bowling ball. And then Brett worked his magic, I heard you say as well.
Brett worked his magic on one of the other balls with some surface. EJ seemed very, very confident. I mean, he said the wet dry today was worse than he had seen last night by a lot. He had 2 good pairs out of 6 today. He's hoping to get 4 tonight, and then that'll be enough for him to get there.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
He is leading the points right now and has been the player of the year the last 3 years in a row, looking to make his 5th show of the season here in 7 weeks of the 2026 Tour season. We move over here, guys. A lot of movement here, a lot of stuff going on. Matt Russo is paired up here with Spencer Robars. They'll be crossing mates tonight, both left-handed, and we'll have E.J. Tackett with Zach Wilkins. And we talk about the high scores here this week, guys. Not only does this pattern yield high scores, but the way the bowling center plays with the pin carry, the kickbacks, and because this pattern is so defined, which we'll get into, which is playing one part of this lane, everybody has to play the same hook spot, is why we've had such high scores this week. It's the dragon pattern, 47 feet, Jimmy.
And on the right side, 9 and 10 are extremely, extremely dry. On the left, 7 and 8 on the right, 9 and 10 on the left are extremely, extremely dry. The one note you got to pay attention. If you get your ball past that area, it's like a cliff. It just falls off. We saw 2 guys this morning. One get 3 off the right and one picked the 6-9 off the right. So guys have pretty control. That's why they're so far to the left, so their misses won't get past 8 down the lane on the right and 9 on the left. All
of our stats are provided by Lane Talk. Lane Talk's live scoring is taking place over at lanetalkstats.com.
That ball had the shape as being the negative CG one. It stays on line more. It doesn't flare as much, and he'll be able to keep it in front of him. I'm not sure, but I'm sure as Tom's down there, he can, he talks to Brett frequently, walking back and forth. He'll get a little bit better idea. If he could ask which ball that is that he's using, that would be great. Which layout one?
Utilizing two bays here tonight, meaning that there are some pairs that are out of play. Lanes 45 through 52, which will be where the television show will be on Sunday on the CW network. We're using lanes 37 through 44, and then lanes 53 through 60 this evening, and all of them are covered for you here on BowlTV.
Hayden Stippett made a big move this morning, guys. And Kyle Sherman trying to get to that telecast.
Yeah, Stippett this morning bowled 15.58. That's a good catch, Randy.
Yeah.
228, 257, 257, 279, 279, and 258. He is the first man outside of the show right now, 3 pins back.
He made a big move.
And, Hayden has already made one show this year, and he was very nervous. And he said it was the fastest game he's ever bowled in his life, which is very normal for a young bowler to do so. But that second telecast, Randy, that's when you kind of start to get your legs under you a little bit, right?
It takes time. There's no doubt about it.
Hayden's last 5 games today, too. 257, 257, 279, 279. You already did it. Sorry about that. I ran away for a second. He averaged 266 the last 5 games. Oh, yeah. You walk away 1 second.
Hey, we're all over it. We're one the same up here.
Yeah, we're
guys.
all a team.
Yeah, Jimmy, you were asking. He is using the EJ. That is using the ball with the CG on the negative side.
Negative
of the ball.
CG.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Guys, there will be no 300 games in game number 1, just letting you know.
What I got up and walked away for, Tom, Mike, I'm looking at you and thinking of him. Man,
Tom, Mike.
My mind's going too fast. I got too many things going on. The interesting thing in Ryan Barnes and Packy Hanrahan, Ryan Barnes goes to 41-2. Cam Crow and Hayden Stippett were on that pair, so he gets a fresh pair 2 games in a row where Packy has to follow 2 lefties. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? It's Ryan's going to have, a free roll to get really off to a big start and lengthen that lead.
Yeah, but Jimmy, I want to contradict that point. We saw the lefties today when they came to the pair that had the 2 lefties on it. The 2 lefties that were on that pair bowled really good. Yeah. The lefties that went to that didn't have any. Graham and Packy didn't throw a strike until Packy threw like the back 6 to shoot 240. So
absolutely,
that could be an advantage for Packy and not for Ryan.
Yeah.
It's just something to pay attention to.
Remember, Ryan had 3 800s in a row for the first 3 games, 3 sets in a row, and had 780 last time. and Packy had 3 in a row. So Tom's right. Those two could totally pull away. And if he gets a little stretch from the guys on the next pair being Stipich and Crow, they could pull away here. And we didn't think there'd be any separation, but those two definitely could get some.
Get a look at Ryan Barnes. Boy, he's been throwing it good this week, hasn't he?
Yep. Using all of his tricks, too.
That's one of the first things I did.
And one other interesting thing we have also is the Cam Crow and Stipich, they follow Russo and Robarge. So it's 2 lefties to 2 lefties going on there. So as Tom said, and we stated earlier today, we thought it's an advantage to follow the lefties to stretch it a little bit. So could be interesting.
Yeah, you can bring me in. Yeah, Jimmy, and you just mentioned that, and I'm down here behind Matt and Spencer's pair. They've each missed once. Spencer can bowl 290, Matt can bowl 279. So that could be an advantage for those guys. Maybe a good pair on the left.
Look how much farther in Francois is now relative to where he was at.
And look at the leave.
Much stronger ball, too.
Soft 10.
Yep.
Packy with a Greek church. And Ryan Barnes can max out for 269 and increase his lead.
He could pick up 50 on him this game. And he's going to a fresh pair. Those two could separate, no doubt. Because Frankie's look, it's okay, but, I mean, he's an arrow left of where he was at last night. I think he's going to have a hard time getting those hits that he got last night. That flat 10 that slapped it out, and then that light bucket hit, I think that he's going to have a hard time getting those. That's an alert that Packy's using this evening as well.
Well, light shaker 6 coming forward.
He's way in.
Yeah, that's at least 4 left in the front part of the lane of where he was at relative to those. He can see in his face that he definitely knows he's going to have a hard time getting his ball to go through the pins in that spot. That's how much earlier they're hooking in the front, guys. And that's a big start by Russo and Spence. 269, 279 if they sheet.
So, guys, in the left bay right now, Packy Hanrahan's 219 is the highest or is the lowest score to be bowled on a max score basis. Then 236. The high game down in that bay is 269. And over on the high-end bay, 212 by Prather would be the lowest game possible, along with Wilkins with 212, Russo with 279 left, and Jeffrey Mann with 280 left. Robarge in the 250s.
Now the key is Graham looks like he's moved in. Can he get his ball to go through the pins? That's the question.
He should be able to.
Yeah.
He's got enough hand.
Ion solid. Ion pro for Ryan Barnes.
When we look at the points this year on tour through 6 events, E.J. Tackett, your leader, is still alive in this tournament. Then it takes us down to 5th position. Graham Fall right now 5th in the points. Ryan Barnes is 12th in points. Zach Wilkins 19th in points. Russo's 22nd in points. And Robarge 25th in points. Vi is 24th in points. So other players that are left, we do have several that are inside the top 25 in this year's points. No worries. Jeffrey Mann is 77th in points this year. Has bowled 5 events, has made $2,920. This will be his best finish on the season, averaging 213 out here on tour this year. He's got a nice game, doesn't he, Randy?
He does. He was kind of the man this morning.
You're not kidding.
Former junior gold champion as well. He was a very, very he won a lot as a youth player.
And let's face it, in today's game, it's very easy to put more attention on the more famous names and family folks, like Bone and Barnes coming out of the youth ranks. Jeffrey Mann, I mean, he's right there. I mean, this guy probably hasn't been talked about enough. Very underrated bowler.
He bowled at Marion University in Indiana.
So we take a look at Kyle Sherman here as we're wrapping up game number 1. Of course, Brad and Kyle on YouTube, big following. Kyle Sherman is on all the telecasts now, working alongside Rick Allen, and we've got his tag team partner on his YouTube side, Brad Miller, standing by with Tom Hess. Tom?
So, Brad, we know how good of a team you and Kyle are. You've been bowling really good at the beginning of the year. He's been there helping you. Now he's not off the schneid and got a check, and you're here helping him. What's been Kyle's key this week to bowling for trying to make this show?
Well, I think he's finally just got a lot of games in. The game is ebbs and flows, and he's finally got, probably a couple hundred games in almost this year. So I think his swing's just getting loose. He's got some balls that are really striking for him. And, I think he's just feeling good. He's comfortable in the pattern. He's drilled 3 or 4 different balls that are working really well for him. So I think he's just confident. I think it's his time.
What percent would you make that he's going to make this show?
I love the question.
99.
All right. I love that.
Brad Miller.
I like it. He's giving him 99 for bowling. I'm going to go 99 for bowling, but I'm going to say 100%. Because if he doesn't make it, he's going to be calling it.
Oh, yeah, I'm out. I'm in a bad spot here. Thanks, guys.
Trick question.
Oh, Tom Hess throwing another person under the bus. Wow. You do what you want, Tom. You're on your own, bro. No more advice from me. Tommy off the top rope. right into Brad Miller's noggin.
We got a fast pace here, everybody. We've got 1 game in the books with that strike there from Francois Lavoie. That gives us 236 for Francois. The players will now move around to different pairs, and we'll get ready for game number 2. This is where we continue on BowlTV, and we say salut to our friends over on YouTube. If you would like to join us for the rest of the block tonight, we'd love to have you over at bowltv.com. You've been looking at a Game 1 live look-in here at the 2026 Pilgrim's PBA Ohio Classic, and we thank you for watching on the PBA YouTube channel. We'll focus all of our attention over at BowlTV now, and we look forward to seeing you over there. Game number 2, we start out here